Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and welcome back to some more weight loss stories. If you're new here, please tap that subscribe button below for more weight loss stories and to join our awesome community, the Narwhals. Embarrassing things I did when I was obese. On my phone, sorry for formatting. I've been on my journey for almost 6 months. By no means am I perfect. I was thinking about some of my weird old habits and it made me laugh. If you have some that you would like to share, I would love to hear them. And these are some of my embarrassing habits. One time I ate 3-day-old seafood pizza that hadn't been refrigerated. I would eat spoonfuls of just plain sugar. I would eat nasty leftovers even though we were heading out to a nice meal in like 10 minutes. I ate out of the trash can a few times. When I went shopping, I didn't know my size. I would tell the people helping me I just lost 75 pounds, so I need new clothes, and try to get praise, instead of being honest and saying I've gained 100 pounds. I don't know what size I am. That one really makes me cringe. I got rid of all the mirrors in my house and would refuse to take pictures. I didn't want to face my reality. So that's all I can think of right now. Let me know if you've done any of these. If you have some you would like to share, that would be great. I left a bag of mini Kit Kats in my car, and they all melted into one big gross glob of chocolate and wafer. Instead of throwing them out or putting them in the fridge to solidify, I just stuck my whole hand in the bag and started licking my hand like Winnie the Pooh eating a jar of honey. That was a rough one. Knowing I was ready to eat my next meal, not when I was hungry, but when I was no longer extremely uncomfortably full. I used to eat an entire box of cosmic brownies nearly every day. I always refused to look at the nutrition information because I didn't want to know what I was doing. I just did, and there's 290 calories per brownie, so 1,740 for a whole box. And that's more than I eat in a day now. I blamed my weight gain on pregnancy, hormones, birth control, you name it. But how dare you suggest that my eating habits are at fault? Worrying that I wouldn't get enough when ordering fast food. I loved eating my roommate's leftovers. Once a roommate went on a trip, and I mixed and ate a whole Costco box of her Ghirardelli brownie mix. She was so pissed at me. I also cringe at how long I would try to squeeze into pants that no longer fit, as though it wasn't noticeable. I broke a few zippers this way. Denial is rough. Eating entire bags of pizza rolls, washing it down with the regular Mountain Dew, and then following it up with 3 bags of candy. I used to come home from work and eat like half a bag of pizza rolls before my partner came home, and then eat regular dinner with him like a normal person. Secret eating was probably the hardest thing to overcome, because if no one sees you demolish 2,000 calories in one sitting, it doesn't count, right? A couple years back, the family was out of town. I had a craving for cake around 8 to 9 p.m., so I baked one from scratch, including homemade icing. I cooled it down in the freezer once it was baked, and ate over half of it in one sitting. Peanut butter and a large flour tortilla with fondant icing in the middle, maybe a touch of chocolate sauce. Late night snacks were often an entire box of crackers and a bowl of homemade pasta meat sauce. Averaged 1 large bag of Doritos every night. Thank you for sharing some of these embarrassing moments. I think we all have a few too many that we'd like to admit. Here are a few recent ones from the last year in my personal worst category. I went to the store to start a new diet plan before getting serious about losing weight. I was hungry, not a good idea, when I went, and bought a large bag of M&Ms, a bag of cookies, and some Takis brand spicy avocado chips. I went home, laid in bed while watching fitness channels, and ate every single thing I picked up at the store. Ordered a family-sized pizza from a local pizza chain that usually has a lot of families inside. I picked up my to-go order and the employee said, "Oh, do your kids love loaded meat pizzas as much as mine?" I nodded yes and headed out the door to devour my whole pizza that evening. I saw a half-eaten bag of chips in my backseat floorboard while finally cleaning my car out. I thought I'd throw them away and put them in the garbage bag with the rest of the debris from my car, mostly chip bags, soda bottles, and candy wrappers. I then proceeded to dig the chip bag out of the garbage and eat it while in my car, feeling sorry for myself. Yo, the spoonful of sugar is too real though. I wasn't dangerously obese, but damn, these things made me feel so good and so bad at the same moment. I would eat what I consider a whole meal just before coming home to my mother, who made me lunch. I would eat tons of bread without even thinking. Sugary tea until it doesn't taste like tea anymore. Same for coffee. And now I can finally distinguish between a crappy espresso and a good espresso. I have to say that for someone who loves food so much, I never knew what anything tasted like until I started dieting. Oh God, do I relate to the photo one. Right down to literally hiding in the bathroom when group photos were being taken until I felt it was safe. Also, wearing trousers with big holes worn into the thighs for way too long, thinking no one could tell. Believing that not being able to get a seatbelt across my body was because the car was cheap or old. Eating whatever the frig I wanted after an hour of floundering from one side of the pool to the other because I must have burned 5,000 calories, right? Eating 2 full meals, spaghetti and meatballs in a row because I was still hungry, literally within minutes of each other. And drinking golden syrup right from the bottle. Just friggin' yikes. I used to wake up early to eat leftover pizza before anyone else could. I avoid looking at the bathroom mirror at all costs after taking a shower. Would eat so much that I made myself sick and didn't care. I'm glad there is this post to get it all out. Oh man, here we go. 1. Ordering 2 or 3 different kinds of pizza and eating multiple pieces of each in one sitting. 2. Going out for brunch with a friend and then immediately going to a different place for lunch, and then following that up with donuts and then chilling until we went out for dinner. And that was a typical Monday for a while. 3. Going grocery shopping, ending up in the prepared food section, buying a couple 1,000+ calorie items, plus chips, plus chocolate, and then going home and eating until it hurt to move. 4. Going to the bread shop across the street from work, buying a couple half loaves of specialty bread, maple, cheese, etc., and then going back to work and eating them both. 5. Buying a bag of bite-sized candy bars so I'd be forced to eat a small portion, and then eating the whole bag over 1 to 2 days. I would go out to a local shop, rotating them in case I was recognized as being in there the day before. I purchased a bunch of junk food and eat it in most likely one sitting. I'd vary it so I had something chocolate, some sweets, something crunchy, and a sandwich or something similar, plus a drink or wine. Spread it all out on the couch and just nibble all day whilst watching TV or playing on the PS4. I took my coworker's Nutella and put it inside a mug to eat it during work when no one was looking. The next day, I bought a new Nutella and replaced the one I took. And not even a week later, I took that again to eat during work, and again, I replaced it later. I came back to check a few days later, my coworker still hadn't opened it, so I took it again, ate it, and replaced it again. I don't know how many times this went on. And the worst part, I don't even like Nutella. I just had to stuff myself with something sweet. Sometime later, I told my coworker that I ate his Nutella. Not the whole story, I said just one. And he says, "Oh, it's fine, I forgot that I had it." And I can't imagine how it must be to have such a healthy relationship with food. Imagine buying a treat for yourself and not obsessing over it to the point that you forget it's there. I would pretend phone calls when I would go to the kebab shop and pretend I was speaking to a friend and ask them what they wanted so I could order 2 or 3 meals for myself. I would exaggerate my cheat days a lot and wouldn't understand why I couldn't lose weight. I found a bag of Haribo's between mattresses in our hotel when guests had left and would eat the whole damn thing. I used to eat like an entire Tillamook ice cream, 1.75 quarts, in a matter of 2 days. I refused to wear jeans for about a year because I gained weight and couldn't come to terms with the fact that I needed a larger size. Depression was also a huge factor. I would charge my credit card endlessly with fast food. I used to go to one McDonald's for ice cream, and when I wanted another, went to another one in the same trip. I ate entire pies, boxes of ice cream bars, to the point where I would be pretty sick. I am also lactose intolerant with heavy creams. I'm still on my journey, but all these things I quit. It's shocking the things you do while depressed and stressed and not knowing how to deal. Your post is making me die laughing because I relate so much. For me, my worst were the days of living with roommates, eating their food, and constantly being in a cycle of replacing it with the exact item before they came back. I went to elaborate lengths several times of ordering an entree for delivery, eating half, and putting it in the fridge like it was the original. But really, that's disgusting, and I should have just gave them the whole thing and told them I ate yours. Here's a new one. Another time, I had to replace a cream pie of some sort that I ate the last quarter of. That required getting a new pie, eating 75% and putting it back. At that point, I had just eaten a whole pie. The less disgusting thing would have been to replace the pie and admit I ate the last quarter of yours. I would eat sugar out of the bowl with a spoon also. My record was 6 spoonfuls before my dad came in the room and yelled. I also drank a lot of sugar water, poured sugar into water, and drank it like I was in Men in Black, or just filled cups with sugar and take from there. I would take a family-sized bag of chips that my mom got for the entire family to portion out and eat half of it in one sitting. And then, embarrassed and afraid that my mom would yell, it was supposed to last our entire family a week, so I would hide the chips bag somewhere. Eating was not a until you're full activity. It was eat until you felt sick, so you had to lay down. I didn't actually know what being comfortably full meant until I was losing weight. I would eat an entire bag of pizza rolls. On other days, I would eat 2 Chef Boyardee raviolis, or an entire plate with some piled on top of chicken nuggets. I would say I'm done with food and put it back in the cupboard, and then minutes later, I'd take out another food and begin eating it even though I was full. I would go through a 24-pack of Mountain Dew daily and pretend that was normal. I once ate a whole pizza at a party before anyone had a chance to have some. I would eat a 24-pack of KM hot dogs with buns and ketchup every night before bed, after I had already eaten all day. I was 405 pounds. I'm 210 now. You can do this. And that brings us to the featured narwhals of the day from our Reddit community. To join our Reddit community, just open the description below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories and to join our friendly community, the Narwhals. FBH says 460 pounds to 330. Still have a ways to go, but making progress. MKN says, today is the last day 1. A female 23 and 40 pounds heavier than my goal weight. I'm finally ready to appreciate my body and treat it right. Here's to the start of my weight loss journey. Pulp Fiction says, female 18, 5'4", starting weight 200 pounds, current weight 170, goal weight 145. When quarantine hit, I really started going in hard on the weight loss. My whole life I've been overweight, and I'm ready to be happy and healthy. I started eating almost no carbs and walking 2 to 4 miles a day. And thanks for sharing, featured narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more weight loss stories and to join our friendly community, the Narwhals. And thanks for watching, narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.